Yes, guys, welcome back to another Sculpted podcast episode. This will just be a short introductory episode, basically who I am, what I do, and the morals that I live by every day. If you don't know me already, my name is Ash. I'll be the new co-host upon Sculpted here alongside Nick and Val. And I guess this episode will just basically, like I said, kind of talk about who I am as a person and sort of the mindset that I've kind of adopted in the past year or two. So I'm a 20-year-old business student, currently studying at the University of Newcastle here on the Central Coast. It's about an hour north of Sydney. I also am very into my fitness and my gym progress. If you don't know, I have a gym account where I post all my videos and lifts there. I also make reels and shorts content for not only the Sculptor podcast, but myself and some smaller fitness influencers here on the coast and fitness trainers. And I guess the next question is, why the Sculptor podcast? What made me change to the person I am today or trying to become? So the real reason was about a year ago, I found myself in a darker place than I'd like to be. I was around some people that I guess weren't really helping me physically or mentally. I was very demotivated, sort of going through the days as they come, not really with any purpose. I guess, so sort of in a way, not really motivated to do much, not really having any goals in mind. I was playing the PlayStation all day, every day. Whenever I still had, schoolwork to do and uni work to do, I'd kind of push that to the side and focus on short-term satisfaction instead. And then I guess I kind of tied into what I saw what Nick was doing overseas. And if you don't know, I've known Nick for quite some time now. We played for the same football team growing up. He was the age below me, so I kind of, got to know him really well. And I kind of saw what he was doing over in Germany, and that made me sort of realize if this kid who's a year younger than me is making these sort of moves overseas, what's stopping me? So what I did was I started to sort of read. I started to learn how to do things. I read a few books. The first one was The Power of Thinking Big, and then Atomic Habits. And those two books instantly changed my perspective on how you build habits and the power of, essentially thinking big. So positive thinking and sort of the reinforcement that words and thoughts do to our brain, and sort of the effects that what we say and what we think actually affects our body and our mentality every day, was really a big sort of player in the change that I've been doing. I also decided that I'd be taking cold showers every morning, and I have to read a book at least maybe 5-10 pages every day. And if not, obviously I'd have to double up and sort of read 20 to 30 pages some days if I forget. So that was kind of a way I sort of held myself accountable to my goals. And I guess the goal was sort of just not accepting mediocrity. So that kind of ties in with the sort of morals that I live by now, is I hold myself accountable to the things that I did. And I kind of learned that through like learning about consistency and sort of how I can manage myself through those challenging times where I don't really want to do it, but I do it anyway. And I think that sort of, builds character, it builds grit to being the person that you want to become, even though some days you might feel like just sitting on the couch and doing nothing. But the person that you want to become wouldn't do that. The person that you want to become would see that as an option, definitely. But I think would push past that and mentally know that what they're doing to get to their goals is far more important than short-term satisfaction. So I think the first moral, essentially, that I live by every day is holding myself accountable for whatever I do. So let's say I have a cheat meal. The next meal I have has to be the best meal I can have. So for example, if I have takeout in the lunchtime, if I'm at work or something, at night I'll try and eat as best as possible to sort of replenish that. Maybe I might have a protein shake or something along the lines of sort of a nutritious meal, I guess. The same with sort of my cold shower routine. If I wake up in the morning and don't have a cold shower, I've got to have it sometime during the day, or I've got to sort of do it for longer the next morning, which very rarely happens because no one likes a long shower in the cold. But that's one of the ways that I keep myself accountable. And I think the second thing would be sort of denying the mindset of just being average. So when I was sort of 2022, 21, I was kind of okay just being meh. I was passing all my uni classes, but only I think around maybe 60% every single class. So I wasn't very happy at all. I wasn't making esteemed marks, nothing to be proud of really. I was kind of getting through uni. So the past year or two, I've kind of decided that I would deny that sort of mindset of mediocrity, and whatever I do, I have to do it to 100%, or I just strictly just don't do it at all. So for example, the start of this semester, I've, really upped my grades in the sort of the classes that I thought were challenging, but I've decided that, that mindset of denying mediocrity and being unhappy with just average or just passing has actually seen a dramatic increase in my sort of grades. And even like just the mindset itself has made such an impact on my life, just not just physically, mentally, or educationally, but like literally everything, spiritually, you name it. It's had a massive effect on how I sort of carry myself on a day-to-day basis. The second thing would be sort of the willingness to do anything. There's a lot of competitors in whatever you do, really. You could be a beautician, you could be a fitness influencer, you could be a financial advisor. There's a lot of competition out there, and they're all competing for the same job that you want. I kind of realized that straight away. I realized that there are a lot of people that want to do what I want to do. So I can't just sit aside and do the things that they do. I've got to do something better. I've got to do something more. I've got to do something for longer. I've got to wake up earlier, whatever it may be. I've got to do something that they're not willing to do. And I sort of try and adopt that mindset into everything that I do. Mainly the things that I don't want to do. So that includes maybe I'm doing a gym exercise. Let's say I'm bench pressing and I've got prescribed 10 reps. I might do 11. Just that one extra makes me feel like I'm achieving more than what's necessary. And to me, that's not only a mental boost, but it is a physical boost as well. If you read an extra page of a book, you might have read something that, you might not have read for another day or so. Or say you're doing a bit of study and you do an extra hour, an extra half an hour, whatever it may be. You're getting, the idea is you get an edge up on your competition. So that's the sort of one of the big things that I kind of try and live by every day. The next would be never negotiating with myself. That's the third and really important part of my sort of philosophy as a person. This has only grown in sort of the past 6 months. Previously, I would have done a lot of things where I get a lot of short-term satisfaction, whether that be eating sugar, staying up late, playing video games, where I could be sleeping because I know I've got to wake up early and sort of do something really important in the morning, maybe a gym exercise, maybe I've got to get to uni. Regardless, I think that sort of holding myself accountable, never negotiating, never giving myself a way out is a very, very big important factor of who I am today. If I've got to do something, no doubt I won't like it, but it'll have to be done and I'll still get it done no matter what I feel like doing. I kind of shut that emotion out of myself, or I encourage myself to do it. Obviously there are times where I slip up and I think that's sort of human nature, but the less and less that you do that is a huge contributing factor to the person you want to become. And yeah, those are kind of the sort of things that I live by every day, and the way that I kind of want to sculpt myself personally into the best person I can possibly be, regardless of sort of what area that is. I just want to be strictly the best in the things that I do. I think Nick and Val would also agree that that's the things that they try and accomplish every day. They don't want to settle for mediocrity. I can't speak. Mediocrity is sort of disgusted in our sort of group of conversations. We don't like just being average. Everything that we do, I mean, we have these things here. These are called Whoop bands. If you don't know, they kind of track your recovery and your sort of activity during the day and your heart rate, etc. We're always competing to see who gets the best sleep, who burns the most calories in a day, who gets the best sort of recovery time. All of those things just kind of brings out the competitive nature in each other. And I think you've got to sort of have that competitive nature if you do want to be the best. You can't just be sort of tame and timid in everything that you do. So definitely, yeah, the competitive side is very important. But regardless of that, those are sort of the introductory things about who I am and what I do. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I'm sorry it's a bit short, but unfortunately it is just me today. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys sticking around this far. And yeah, next episode should be the Relentless series, or it might be one of our episodes maybe later in the week. So again, thank you for sticking around. So I really appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next episode.